Welcome back to CasualBiasRugby, business end of the tournament. I know last weekend the knockout started for the Champions Cup, but when you talk about quarterfinals, it's just got a different breed of hype around it. And it's that time of the tournament. Obviously, as a Stormers fan, the hurt of last weekend still exists in my body. I thought we played so well against La Rochelle, but obviously you can't have it all your way. So let's get into some predictions and a full-on preview for this weekend and what we can expect. The first game that we have, Bordeaux versus Harlequins. Harlequins played against, who was it again? Glasgow. Absolutely thrilling game. I predicted a high-scoring game, but less of a high-scoring game than I predicted. I thought it's going to be like a 40-30 game, but an absolutely brilliant game to watch. The end score still 28-24. I know it's cliche to say, but still a proper game of two halves. Harlequins kind of dominating the first half after the first couple of minutes of an onslaught from Glasgow, and then somehow Glasgow just pulled it back, played some brilliant rugby, had Harlequins on the ropes. They were behind, and Harlequins had to make a comeback victory in the end, and that's what they did. Marcus Smith masterclass, 1 try, 2 try assists. Andre Esterhuizen also getting onto the score sheet, and then obviously, how could you not know that Bordeaux absolutely thrashed Saracens? So I'm predicting an absolutely scintillating game between these two teams once again. I am backing Bordeaux. I'm just spoiling it already. I think they've just been world class at the moment. Look at the wingers that they've got in terms of Penno, Louis Beale-Barry. Of course, they've got Luku as the scrum half. I'm missing a couple of players, but that's just the big names there. They've been looking absolutely scintillating this season. One of the underdogs, obviously, if they win this game, this will be a massive foot forward for them in terms of getting to the final. If they get through this game, probably going to be up against Toulouse in the semi-final. If they get over the line against Toulouse, that will give them a lot of confidence in the final. Harlequins, the only thing that I kind of feel that they're not good enough at is the defence. I still think they've got a lot of frailties in defence. I said it when they played against Glasgow in that preview. They missed a bunch of tackles in the start of that Glasgow game, and the thing is you can't afford to miss tackles against the likes of a Bordeaux. I think there was a lot of times that there were overlaps. For instance, in that game against Glasgow, that Glasgow just couldn't get that ball out wide. And if you're lacking in defence, especially out wide against Bordeaux, you're gonna get punished. Okay, there's no stopping them. They want to get that ball out wide. They've got two of the most dangerous wingers in the world. I'm going Bordeaux to smash Harlequins, but I don't think Harlequins will just go and lie down. I think Harlequins will still get a couple of points. I'm going Bordeaux by about 18 points, but I'm predicting a big scoring game, like 20 points to 38. I've got this as a big scoring game. So I still think it's a fun game. I think it's one of the most exciting games for this weekend. So Bordeaux by 18 points. That is my official prediction on this one. Moving on to the next game, we've got Leinster versus La Rochelle. Now this is the ultimate clash of the titans. Obviously, it's the defending double champs versus the defending double runners-up. Leinster obviously got over the line in the pool stages against La Rochelle. Does that give them enough confidence to go on and beat them when it actually means something? Yes. That is the official prediction. I don't think La Rochelle has been too convincing this season. Of course, you can disagree if you want to. I just think Leinster has been a different breed this season. They've been absolutely insane. Obviously, didn't make Leicester Tigers they didn't make light work of them, but they also didn't really get out of second gear, to be honest. So Leinster has been absolutely unstoppable. Look at that game, what they did to the Bulls when the big men came on. Absolutely thrashed the Bulls. The Bulls were still in the game after the first half, and then literally got taken to the cleaners, to say it nicely. La Rochelle, not the same team. And the biggest thing for me is, yeah, they might have this little... They have bragging rights over Leinster, obviously, at the moment. Obviously, beating them twice in a row in a final. But it's not been the same team. Look at the way I know this might sound like I'm salty, but I'm not saying this out of a salty perspective. Just look at how well the Stormers played against La Rochelle before all the injuries and the yellow card. It literally took almost 5 injuries, on-field injuries, and a yellow card for La Rochelle to really get a foothold in the game. Now, obviously, it takes a good team to get to that point where you fight back and you get the victory at the end. But it came down to one kick in the game. Stormers obviously really struggled with all the injuries, and it's not just any injuries, it was massive injuries as well, taking big name players out of the game. But La Rochelle doesn't fill me with confidence, and I think you need a team that is filled with confidence, that really believes in themselves once again, that shows something special, right, to almost beat Leinster at the moment. Leinster looking like a team that are defending champions, not La Rochelle in my opinion. They scraped through in the group stages, and I'm not trying to hammer La Rochelle or act like they are easy victory or anything. I just think that's how good Leinster is, and you've got to be absolutely scintillating to beat this Leinster side. The system is amazing, the attack's amazing, the defence is amazing, their squad depth is amazing. So I'm going with Leinster to get an absolutely statement victory. It almost feels weird to say this because I always banter Leinster, Munster, Ireland, because obviously I'm South African, but I can't do anything else other than just respect the way that Leinster has just been playing this whole season. So I'm going with Leinster with a statement victory, 15 points. But that being said, I won't be surprised at all if La Rochelle pulls it close or even gets the upset victory. That's just the thing with rugby heritage, when you've got one over a team, that mental block for the other team. So, I don't know. It's weird, but I do feel Leinster have pulled enough confidence from that pool stage victory, because obviously those two teams knew if they won that game, it gives them a massive step forward in the Champions Cup. So, with that being said, Leinster winning an important game then, that gives them enough confidence to go on and do it again. So I'm going Leinster by 15. I've got the first game by 18 and this one by 15. And it doesn't get... the score margins doesn't get any less. Because next up you've got Northampton Saints versus the Bulls. And I think Saints are smashing the Bulls. I hate the Bulls, but I do support them in this Champions Cup. Obviously, the South African teams have never won it before, so I'll support a South African team, even if it's not the Stormers, until we actually win this tournament. And just the excuses that Jake White has come out with, I'm not saying it's not valid excuses, but you don't want to take away anything from the game before the game's even started, right? Because now if the Bulls lose, it's kind of just like, yeah, well, Jake warned us about the flight stuff, and then if the Bulls had to somehow win, you'd kind of forget about it, or you'd say, listen, the Bulls won despite of that. You kind of want the Bulls to go out there with the mentality, listen, we are winning this game. We want to win this game. We want to win this tournament. And that's just, I haven't got the sense that they've actually tried to go out there and do that. Saints, on the other hand, have looked unstoppable. Yeah, maybe not every game has been convincing victories, but the way that they shut down Munster, who were fired up in that first half. Munster looked absolutely scintillating. I know a lot of Munster players are injured and sick, but you can't miss the fact that Munster really looked up for that game, and they really came out to play, especially in that first half. And you just saw how Munster crumbled in the second half, and that's just the pure confidence that Saints have, and they've been so... almost go forward. They just never say die attitude, just keep on hammering, keep on knocking on their door. And I feel that's where the Bulls will crumble in the end. Saints have looked unstoppable. You've got Courtney Laws there, you've got Finn Smith there. Burger Urenal looked absolutely $1 million on that inside centre. You got Hendy that just came onto the field last weekend against Munster and scored 2 tries. So I'm going Munster to win this game, a comfortable victory. I'm going by 22 points for Northampton Saints as well. I know I'm predicting high-scoring games, and usually in the knockout stages, people come up and they are ready to play. So obviously a lot of these games might be a bit closer than the predictions, but I'm just taking it on face value. And I'm not too sure about the squads. I'm not sure whose squads have been announced. I don't think the Bulls will play their full-strength team either. It's just a weird situation. So I'm going with Saints to get the job done, which means it will be Saints versus Leinster in the semi-final, and I've got Bordeaux to take on Toulouse in the other semi-final, because I've been a big advocate of the Chiefs. I've even been saying the phrase "up the Chiefs," but they're not winning this game. It's time to pack your bags, go home, relax, kick your feet up, get a pizza, watch the semi-finals and the finals from home. Toulouse, they have been absolutely brilliant. Of course, you've got a fight up Dupont, who's just won a medal for France for the first time in about 12 centuries for France in the sevens. Comes back to play for Toulouse. Intermark finally back after his long injuries. He'll be fired up to play again. And it's just, I don't see anyone stopping Toulouse. I know I just said it's a massive game between Bordeaux and Toulouse, and Bordeaux could win that game. But it's just like Toulouse feels like rugby heritage. This is their tournament. Obviously, they've won it about 5 times, if I'm not mistaken, 4 or 5 times. Leinster obviously looking to also win it a 5th time, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I can see a comfortable victory for Toulouse. Maybe not battering Exeter by that many points, but I think the performance overall will be an absolutely brilliant performance. Like, look, they didn't smash Racing. I know the score was still 31-7. But they really looked comfortable in the game. And I think that is the same that they're going to do with Exeter. Also about a 20-point victory, not conceding many points, but also not putting 60 on them, for instance. So that is the official prediction for the quarterfinals of the Champions Cup. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. But overall, just a quick rundown. I've got Bordeaux to beat Harlequins by about 18 points. I've got Leinster to beat La Rochelle by 15. Saints to beat the Bulls by 20. And then Toulouse to beat Exeter also by 20 points, which would give us Bordeaux versus Toulouse in the semi-final and Leinster versus Northampton Saints. That is absolutely cracking games. Let me know what you thought about it. See you next time. Thank you.